bikes out today. Great weather for it. In fact, today doesn't even feel like spring. I'm sorry. Today doesn't even feel like fall. It feels like that late winter day, early spring when the weather's just starting to break. Where you've got that nice warm day that just kind of pops up in the middle of nowhere after a series of cold, bitter days. That's today. That's what today feels like. It feels like the first glimmers of spring. Alright, so I am running this recording. I'm completely tapped out. This ride has gone on longer than I anticipated. I know that my batteries are waning. I've got very little left. I'm probably running on fumes on the GoPro battery. I don't have another one on my back. I don't have any spares in my backpack. And I feel like I'm at a loss for words. I've been talking inside of my helmet for so long now. It's a little funny to think how many times you're going to hear me say, "Oh, it's a beautiful Wednesday, this day after Election Day." Because I think I've recorded 4, maybe 5 at this point, and I think they've all had the very same cheesy, lame opening. So I think this is going to be one of those Motovlog mixed bags that really have no particular direction. They just feature me talking about nothing in particular. They're kind of fun to do, though. I don't mind doing them. I just wish I had something a little more specific in mind. I'm staring at that cemetery, and I see some old grave markers. It's kind of weird. Lately, I've been stopping in it at cemeteries. I feel even embarrassed just saying that. The last couple of times I've been out on the bike, coincidentally, I would just happen to be doing a battery change in a church parking lot, and next and adjacent to the church was a cemetery. Now, the first one I was in had some really old gravestones that kind of caught my eye. So I walked over and I checked them out, and then today I needed to do a battery swap. I stopped in at again, another church. We have tons of them here in Pennsylvania. You don't realize how many we have until you start stopping in them on a regular basis to change batteries. But anyway, next to this church was a cemetery, and I rode through it really quick. It was depressing. If you've seen that video, you'll understand why. But I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I kind of have a fascination with these old-looking gravestones. In particular, gravestones with an 18 in them, 1800s. I think I've seen a couple 1700s in Ole. Date of birth being 1700s, date of death being 1800s. Just to think that, that piece of stone has been in the ground, signifying someone's life for all of these years is just, I don't know, it fascinates me. I'm kind of drawn to old things like that, and it's just really cool to see and think about. So when I saw that old cemetery back there, I start wondering, like, oh, how old are those gravestones? But I've kind of become the guy that goes to covered bridges. I don't also want to become the guy that goes to graveyards. That's just a little weird. But on to the next topic. First car accident I ever had was right up here at this intersection. I was going this way. I was going home. I was actually visiting my mom on Mother's Day. And I don't remember exactly why, but my wife and I drove separately. I think she may have been doing something beforehand. And she was in her car with the kids, and I was in my car alone. And I was coming this way at a situation kind of like this, only I didn't have to stop. And that black truck up there that's making a left, imagine if there was that truck behind him didn't see me and out of nowhere I had the truck kind of cut across traffic with room to spare for me, and then the car behind it, that second truck, which actually was a truck in my case, just wasn't looking and followed him through to make the left across the intersection, and I didn't have anywhere to go but into him. Totaled my car. I wasn't really injured too much. I had some burns on my face from the airbag. Car was totaled. The bummer about that was I bought that car new, and it was long paid off. I mean, I think I had that car 10 years or something like that before it was totaled, and it still had tons of life left in it. It was a good little car. It was a Mazda Protege, for anyone that's curious. Little sedan. You know, that's the kind of the thing with me. I've always had, what's the word I'm searching for? Sensible things, sensible vehicles. So, you know, my first car, because my parents weren't in a position to be able to help me, so I had to pay for my own. I had to make my own car payment. You know, I had to buy my own car. I had to pay for my own insurance, pay for my own gas. So that meant that, you know, I had to be sensible about it. So I bought a 4-door sedan as my very first car, because I knew the insurance would be cheap, and I knew that the gas mileage wouldn't be horrible. Oh, so my first car was a sensible car. It was a 4-door sedan. The next car I bought was another sensible car, a 4-door sedan. Car after that, sensible car, 4-door sedan. I've only ever owned 4-cylinder little cars, which is kind of sad. You know, I've never been able to go through that muscle car phase, if you will, for you know, that teenagers get to go through. I've never had that fast car phase, and I think that part of that's the reason why I wanted a more sporty bike. Because, I mean, I don't have an issue with having sensible vehicles, but damn it, it's time to have something with a little pep. So now my motorcycle is 4 cylinders. It's not a super fast sport bike, but it's plenty peppy. Oh man, just to think. Just a few weeks ago, I was peeing where that combine is. I'm sorry, but when you're on the bike for a couple of hours and you're out somewhere like this, sometimes you just have to dip into a cornfield and pee. Man, coming up on this covered bridge, which you've seen probably a couple dozen times at this point. Chopper Fett asked me to do a video for him for an upcoming project he's working on, and he needs some video of me riding. And I would kind of like to get some video of me going through this bridge, but I need help. I don't want to set my GoPro up to record me riding through it on the side of the road, and then, you know, kind of ride long past it and all that. You know, I'd almost like someone just at least to stand next to the camera, just to stop some random person from running off with it would be cool. Because I would need to set it up on a tripod, like, I don't know, somewhere out there to catch me coming through the bridge. Although it would be kind of cool to have someone pan with the camera, you know, kind of see me come through the bridge and then rotate the camera and follow me as I'm riding off. As far as I know, he doesn't need anything super long. Well, folks, that's it. I'm out of batteries. I figured I'd just pull over and check, double check, but I'm pretty sure I was sure I didn't have any. Well, that's going to do it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and as always, ride safe. I'll catch you in the next one.